Ishant Sharma.
Lucky boy.
Hello and welcome to the eighth episode of All Things Cricket by the 12th Man. I am your host Ujjwal Sachdeva, and today we have with us a man whom we've seen in multiple roles. He's been a player with the Ranji team of Delhi, a selector with DDCA, and someone who we've also seen in the Indian Premier League in the blue and golden of the Mumbai Indians. We have with us Mr. Chaitanya Nanda. Welcome, Chaitanya, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we plan to do this in three segments. Initially, I will be asking you certain questions about selection procedures and how a selector thinks. The second segment will be about Indian cricket, and finally, we'll have a rapid fire segment. So my first question to you is that you've been a player for a good amount of time, and being someone who exactly understands what the nitty-gritties of the game is, what is required, what is the most defining attribute that you look for while you are selecting an individual for a team?
He needs to be a match winner. He can change the game on his own. Um, you have to perform for yourself, but you have to somewhere down the line also help the team to win the games. So most of the selectors normally try to find a players those who can on their own change the course of the game. So there are a few batsmen those who can change the course very quickly of the game.
Yeah,
There are a few batsmen which give stability to your batting lineup.
right.
For bowlers, you need few bowlers which are wicket takers. Uh, you need a bowler who can come and bowl economically, keep the things quiet. Sometimes you pick up a all rounder which gives a very good balance to the team.
Right.
But if you see, this is about the one day cricket and the test cricket. But
Yeah.
when you see about the T20 cricket, a lot of franchises are trying to pick the players those who can ball a bit, bat a bit. But as a selector, I still feel if you have a player who can, you can trust on his one skill, another
Right.
skill can be helpful. But you don't want a player who can be a bit and pieces of players. But I don't think that works for a long time. If you
Agree.
have a player who has a skill, one skill, which is like, you know, on which he has the mastery, another skill which here he can come and contribute to the team. That is the best way for T20 cricket.
Okay, that's really great to know. So, my next question to you, sir, is that oftentimes it happens that a selector has to go through the process of dropping a very experienced player who has been out of form and who is going through a tough phase. Or and such a tough decision brings about a spur in media, it brings criticism from the fans. So, how does a selector deal with the pressure of doing something like this?
It's similar like when you play cricket. When you in your playing days, you don't read newspapers
Right,
because when you go to ground, you want to perform well every time. But there are few times when you try your best, but you're not able to give the result you are looking for or the team is looking for. So the best way is to cut off yourself from the world and keep working what you know the best, rather thinking about the things what people are thinking about you. Because every player who goes into the ground always want to have five. As a bowler wants to have a 5 wickets, and as a batsman he wants to score runs which can win matches for the team or score 100 or 50 at least. So same as a selector, when you are in the job of selector, you depends like if I'm a selector for Delhi or if I'm a selector for some team. So my main motive is to promote that team or do good for Delhi cricket or do good for Indian cricket or do good for any franchise cricket. So when you do that, in that you have to take few bold steps, some strong steps, which can come back and bite you. But what is good for the team, you have to think that way and you have to do it. It's similar like in a normal life, like what is good for your family, you do that.
right,
And sometimes you take very harsh decisions, like
right.
many decisions which goes wrong in the family as well. Sometimes people think that you are doing wrong, but after some time they realize you are doing the right thing. So as a selector, whichever job you are, for whomever you are doing that job, it's like your family. So you have to take your family well ahead of other families and do well in the life. So I think as a selector, you have to take bold decisions. You have to take sometimes strong decisions. You have to sometimes back the players. That, as you said, a professional, old player or a player with a big reputation is not performing,
Yeah.
and people want him, want selectors to drop him. But sometimes selectors give them a longer run because they
Yeah.
trust in them. So you have to see what kind of situation it is. Also, like you question, if you, as you said, there is a player who has a big reputation
Yeah.
and he is not performing. But again, when you see the reserves which can come and replace him, if they are also not in form, then you have to give a run to the strong player or
Agreed.
the old player who has a reputation. And if he is not performing, and you have a player sitting with the reserves which are in very, very good form, which can come and turn around the things. So you have to take the strong decision, tough decision, and you have to move ahead because life is about moving ahead, giving opportunities. So
Right.
that is the way I think a selector should think. Might be I'm wrong, might be I'm right. For me, this is the way I think as when I am a selector.
Yeah, that's actually good to know the perspective of how a selector thinks and what actually comes from what is behind all of these decisions. So I have another question for you along these lines. So when you say that there are players in reserves and when we're looking for players, so in India, cricket is a sport that is played on every street, every park, and there is abundance of talent. And some players just manage to come across, make it big, but there are so many talented players who probably lose out because there is lack of guidance and they don't know how to proceed. So are there any measures that we take to follow and to streamline the talent coming up, and any talent acquisition procedure that can help us go deeper into these routes?
Yes, there is a way, but it's a very long way, and BCCI could take that way. But in that, what happens? It will become a monopoly kind of a stuff,
Okay.
because then BCCI has to, open their academies everywhere in every state, every
Right.
district, everywhere, and they have to take over the state associations. They have to do selections of their
Hmm.
own team for daily. They have their own coaches. They have their own selectors. They have their own staff. So what it will people will start feeling like it's a monopoly of BCCI then.
Right.
Uh, but I still feel there are a few ways which I tried when I was in BCCI, but it didn't come to the result. I think the best way to do it is, you know, the ex-cricketers can be put on as a coaches on the website, and the academies which are run by the professionals or the individuals or the private people, they can hire those coaches, and by doing this, they can give a, uh, what do you say, good knowledge of cricket from the childhood. Because if you see a lot of academies, there are people those who are coaching. They have not played very long good cricket or big cricket, or
Hmm.
you know they have not played. Few of them are like, I've seen few academies where the coaches have not played cricket at all. They were trainers
Yeah.
and they became the coach now, because cricket is like religion in India. And when you open up an academy, a lot of people come there to practice.
Agreed.
So they don't know about what you see. A layman is coming in, they don't know what is the difference between a local cricket or a league cricket, or a somebody has played a CK Naidu or somebody has played a Kuch Bihar. So they don't know about these things as a layman. So they think, okay, he has played cricket or he has a few pitches with good cricketers, so he might be a good player as well. So I
Right.
think if BCA comes in and put their own ex-cricketers, which are looking for job as well right now,
Yeah.
this will also help them in giving a proper guidance to the youngsters. Because when youngsters come to the ground, obviously they are spending a lot of time of their life in the ground, and they are also, a lot of people ignore studies, which I am very against. People should not ignore studies,
Hmm.
because when you are a good student, when you are a brilliant student, you are a good learner, because your mind has a habit to pick the things very quickly. If you are
Right.
not good student or not good in studies, then you become little slow. Your brain starts working little slow. So you pick the things very slow also in cricket. So I think being a good student is also helps you in cricket.
There should be a
So
balance.
this is the one way when BCCI
Yeah.
can put their own experiences. Other way for me, when any parent goes to the academy, to give to join the academy for his kids, and he should not shy about it. He should ask the coach what he has played, how much cricket he does know about the cricket, and he should also talk to the parents how many years they are playing here, are their kids improving, and they should also see uh, you know in that area which is the good academy, and they should also ask them, do they play league cricket? Like in Delhi, I can guide. Do that club play? Does that club has a league cricket team, which is the first stepping stone to get selected? From where the performance
Yeah.
starts getting counted for the state level things. So they should also ask this. When they go to other places, they should also ask them, do they play district cricket? How many kids have played from their academies to district cricket or the state level cricket? All these kind of questions they should ask the coach, and they should not shy about it, because you are giving your son to that academy where he's going to spend a lot of time, and he should be making his future from there. So I think parents should ask questions.
Yeah, those are actually a lot of suggestions that can help improve cricket from the grassroots level. So I have one more question for you in this segment, sir. In 2019, India won the Physically Challenged World Series, but unfortunately, it actually went unnoticed. So, as big as cricket might be in this nation, there is little to no emphasis on segments of cricket like blind cricket, wheelchair cricket, and Divyang cricket. So, how do you think that this notion will change, and what must be done towards it?
See, that what see, humans have a tendency to pick up the things little slowly. The trends, we pick up the trends very slowly. If you see the few years back, there was nothing for women cricket and Indian cricket.
Yeah, agreed.
There was no backing. They have no uh, facilities available. They were just playing and going back. Now BCI has taken over them. BCI is taking very good care of them. Now women cricket is famous. People started watching it. People started to know about the women cricketers now. So it took some time, to get accepted in the market. Same for the handicap cricket and other forms, other types of cricket like indoor cricket and other crickets. If if they do well and keep doing well, it will get picked by people, but it will take time.
Yeah,
It takes time. And
steady.
BCA started. I think BCA started helping the disabled cricket as well.
Yeah,
So I think in a decade we can see some good improvement for them, but it takes time, because cricket, men's cricket is followed by everybody in Indian. See, we have a hockey as well, we have
yeah,
football as well, but it's not followed the way cricket is followed.
yeah,
It is the administration which makes the game famous. So the people, those who are running these associations, they need to start acting better way in a better way. They need to. I think they should look how BCCI men's cricket was 20 years before.
yeah.
What changes they have done in their way to become famous in Indian cricket, in Indian public. So they have to, understand from the way Indian men's cricket has moved on. So if they do that, obviously they will also improve. So they have a good example to look at it.
Yeah.
So I think it's again a commodity or a product which everybody has to sell. So if the administration, which is running that part of cricket, that part of association, has to work in a better way, because players are doing their job. They have won
Yeah.
the World Cup. They are performing well. They are giving glory to Indian cricket or Indian our country. So they
Yeah.
are doing the job. It's about the people, those who are running that administration, those who are doing the PR, those who are doing the things. They have to do something different to become more famous.
Okay.
And I think, but
And
BCA will for sure help.
yeah, moving to our second segment, it's about Indian cricket. So my first question to you is that through all of your years of playing, of selection, what is your favorite moment in Indian cricket?
There are many. There are many. See, as a player, when I played my first game, debut, the Ranji Trophy match. Again, when I played my first league cricket match,
Yeah.
that is also a moment for me because that was the first stepping stone where I came to believe myself that I can perform with
Yeah.
in a higher level of cricket because before that I was just practicing. Then from there I played some professional cricket. Again, that's a moment. Then I went for trials. I bowled well. I have done well in the trials. That's again a moment. So I can, everywhere where you go and you above your level and you perform, that is a moment for you because you start trusting in yourself. Playing a IPL game, that is also a dream
Milestone.
come true. Bowling
Yeah.
to Hayden, bowling to Dhoni, then 100 wickets in Ranji Trophy match, breaking records in Ranji Trophy, taking fastest 50, then uh, the doing well in Irani Trophy cricket,
Yeah.
winning Ranji Trophy title. So
Yeah.
there are many moments. There are many moments as a player, and as
Yeah.
a Indian citizen when we won the World Cup.
In 2011.
That was that was a
The
brilliant
moment.
moment.
That was it.
But
Yeah.
for the moment for me when Azharuddin changed the concept of cricket. That is
Hmm.
again a moment where Indian cricket started interesting more and more and
Started
more.
developing. Yeah.
Then Saurav Ganguly came in. He has changed the complete perception of the players, how to go and play aggressively, backing the players as a captain. He has given Indian cricket a lot of things. A lot of things.
Yeah.
He has backed many players, those who are legend now. And from there the graph started going up of Indian cricket. Then Dhoni came. He taught us how to be calm in different situations, difficult situations. So if you see, there are many, many moments. You cannot glorify one moment. I think for me, today talking to you is also a moment. So you have to enjoy the moment.
Yeah, I agree, sir. So there is a segment of our blog wherein cricket enthusiasts can send in questions or topics for somebody who is coming up for an episode. So we have two questions for you. The first one is that Wasim Jaffer is a player who has a very decent average in international cricket. And when it comes to the Ranji Trophy, he has scored 11,000 runs. He's the highest run getter that there is. And from there,
Yeah.
not getting enough opportunities to perform at the international level um, is somewhat unjustified according to most fans of cricket. So what is your say as a selector on that?
See, I will say he might have followed with the selectors. Liking, disliking might be the case. But he's
Hmm.
also, sometimes you are born at the wrong era.
Yeah.
Like Stuart McGill is an example.
Yeah.
When Shane Warne is there, Stuart McGill was there. If he have came after, he might have taken 500, 700 wickets as well. But he was not able to play too many matches when Shane Warne was there.
Agreed.
So same for Jaffer. When Jaffer was playing, Virender Sehwag came. He started performing very well for Indian cricket. He performed in every format of cricket.
Yeah.
So the Jaffer was ignored, and that is the point. But he's a very very big player. He's a legend, and I think he should have played more international cricket for India. And he's again a very very good human as well. So sometimes destiny is not written by us; it's written by God.
Yeah.
So I don't know what is for us in future. So we need to keep working on what we have in present.
Okay, and one more question that we have for you is that India has been looking for their number four batsman for since perhaps the 2015 World Cup, and after all of these years, they have found Shreyas Iyer as probably the person who will stay at number four for a certain amount of time. Do you think that Shreyas Iyer is the ideal candidate for number four, or do you think there should be better options that are explored?
See, number four is a very crucial place for any
Yeah,
any team. But if you don't have a stable or a player who is a place who has taken that place completely, so you have to back players. You have to give them a run, and you have to make them understand what kind of a role he has to play. So if sometimes what happens, the team management says you go and start hitting it out, and
Yeah.
or you play a long innings. So you have to have a player who can play all the roles or fit in all the roles. So I think if we are backing up Shreyas Iyer right now, so we should back him up. We should give him more chances because making a player is difficult rather than destroying a player.
Mhm. Yeah.
To make a player, you have to back him up. And there are many examples in Indian cricket. I don't want to take names, but they are legends now, and they
Yeah.
have been backed very strongly, and they are now very very big legends of Indian cricket. So when you when you want to make a player, you have to back him. So if you want to make Shreyas Iyer, Ajinkya Rahane, or whoever you want to give the chance on number 4, Vijay Shankar, anyone, you have to back him. You should back him. We should not get bored of him very quickly or get rid of him very quickly.
Now we will move to our fun segment, that is the rapid fire segment. Rules are the same. You have to just say the first and the fastest thing that comes into your head. Who is your favorite cricketer in the current Indian team?
In the current team,
Yeah,
Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli. Okay. Now there are a lot of fan debates that keep happening, and most of them don't have a correct answer. They just have different sides to the table. So I will be giving just this or that options, and you have to pick one of them. So according to you, you have to pick the brightest future between Shubman Gill and Prithvi Shaw.
Shubman Gill and
Prithvi Shaw.
Shubman Gill.
Okay. And between the bowlers Ravi Bishnoi and Rahul Chahar.
I've not seen Bishnoi too much before, but I've seen in last few days. I think Ravi Bishnoi.
Okay. And
Retired.
among spinners, you've been one yourself for so long. So who do you think is better fit if only one of them could play? Yuzvendra Chahal or Kuldeep Yadav?
Chahal.
Chahal.
Yuzvendra Chahal.
Okay. And who is the better fit to open the batting in T20? Shikhar Dhawan or KL Rahul?
Shikhar Dhawan any day.
Any day. And according to you, the better limited over batsman between Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma?
Virat Kohli.
One last in this segment, the better captain according to you, Saurav Ganguly or Mahendra Singh Dhoni?
That's a tricky one. But I think MSD.
Okay. The smartest cricketing brain in your opinion?
Don't need to give me option. It's MSD.
Okay. And in your career as a cricketer, who has been the biggest influence on you?
Glenn McGrath.
Glenn
For
McGrath.
consistency.
Okay. And
We will not get bored. Batsmen will get bored.
yeah. And as a player, so moving forward to you as a selector, you have one player that you have selected that you would place your money on to make it big in international cricket.
Right now, the upcoming players in
Yeah.
Delhi cricket or all over India.
No, one player that you have selected in Delhi that you think will make it big in international cricket.
There are many. Delhi cricket is coming up with very good players. Many good players. I will like to take few names.
Yeah.
Manjot Kalra, Jonty Sidhu, uh, Lalit Yadav. Right now, you can take these names. Nitish Rana is also a good contender
Yeah.
if he improves the moving ball.
Okay. Looking forward to seeing all of them. The first thing that comes into your mind when I say the following: first, Virat Kohli,
Match winner,
match winner, the Indian Premier League,
uh, backbone to Indian cricket,
the Ranji Trophy,
soul of cricket, soul of Indian cricket.
Ishant Sharma,
Lucky boy.
and women's cricket.
Sorry, women's cricket.
Yeah.
Much more to do to much more to do to match men's cricket.
Yeah. So one last question I have for you in this entire episode. After all of these years as a cricketer, as a selector, what is cricket for you in one word?
It's like a job. For me, it's
Okay. Yeah. So that's it from our side. Thank you so much for having spared the time to do this. It has been a privilege to get to interact with you. Anything that you would like to say to me or convey to your fans or the audience watching the show?
see for the people those who are want to play cricket or any sports. Sports is a very good teacher. It teaches you that when you lose, next day you again have to win. And if you have won today, you have to go tomorrow and again repeat the same thing in your life. So when you lose, don't bog down. Don't think that you have lost because there is another day where you can win. And to be a
That's
very
fantastic.
better person,
Yeah.
you should be a good student. You should. It's not about knowing the history or anything or geographical and all that aspects. As a cricketer, as a bowler, you should be very good in geography because you can understand what kind of wickets you're gonna get, what kind of soil you wanna get in what part of India. It will also help in your batting and bowling. But if you're a good student, who can grasp the things very quickly, you can become a very intelligent cricketer. You can pick up the things quickly. You can learn quickly. You can learn from others as well. For me, for me, best thing, just live in daytime compartments, which is today, which is now. Do the best in that, so your next coming moment will be better. Don't waste the moment.
That's quite a lesson. Thank you so much for it, sir. And it has been really good to have you. Thank you so much for coming to our show.
Thank you, Ujjwal. My pleasure.